Service Award. Donna Buchanan was the winner last year, or the honoree last year. It's also her birthday on Friday, so I'm sure happy birthday. I did that last year, and I think she was going to hit me with the award. If we had it with us, we forgot to bring it with us. But we have it here today. Harry Wheeler was the director of the North Employment and Training Program and a longtime member of GSETA. In his memory, the Garden State Employment and Training Association established the Harry Wheeler Professional Service Award, which is presented to a GSETA member who has made significant contributions to the association and has demonstrated leadership within the state and local workforce development areas. I invite Virgen Velez to the stage to introduce this year's Harry Wheeler honoree, Howard Weiss.
Howard Weiss has dedicated his professional life to workforce development for over 30 years. So I've known him for a long time. From CETA to JTPA to WIA to WIOA. He truly exemplifies dedication, caring, commitment, and fighting spirit for whom this award was established. Howard has a wealth of knowledge and experience gained from working as a planner, MIS coordinator, principal planner, to executive assistant to the Essex County WIB, or WDB. He has been and continues to be always ready and willing to share his knowledge and experience with whomever needs it. Howard has exemplary leadership skills demonstrated at the state and local levels and amongst his peers. In the association, he is our go-to person for performance questions and issues. At the local level, he has served on various boards and work groups. Due to his technical experience, Howard has served on state work groups and on the National Performance Standards work groups in Washington, representing not only the workforce professionals in New Jersey, but the countless customers that we serve. Howard is not afraid to speak his mind, often saying what needs to be said, to defend his colleagues, and to ensure that the system meets the needs of all of our customers. Howard is one of our most dedicated, caring, and supportive members of our association. He has served as trustee and as co-chair of the MIS committee for the last several years, bringing expertise, experience, and energy to this vital component of our association and our service mission. As stated by another colleague, Howard has always brought a sense of purpose, a sense of balance, and a much-needed sense of humor in the many discussions held at our meetings. 2 fun facts about Howard. He actually met Harry Wheeler, many of us, actually most of us have not, when he was a student at Seton Hall University, and he had to interview Mr. Wheeler. Another fun fact, Howard has attended over 150 concerts, musical concerts, this year alone. All kinds of concerts, small venues, middle-sized venues, large venues. Every time every time when we have not only our conference, but oftentimes when we have our retreats. And we're looking for Howard. After dinner, where is Howard? Oh, he went to Philly for a concert. He went here for a concert. So it's 150 this year only and counting. So he's a fun guy to be around for many reasons. But I am really proud to submitted his nomination, and I am so proud to introduce Howard Weiss as our Harry L. Wheeler Professional Services Award.
used to being up here by myself. As many of you know, I was half of the comedy team of Altman and Weiss for many years, and we did a lot of comedy material about employment training, about the field, about issues, and about the people in the field. And actually, Gary, in the last few years, convinced me to do singing, karaoke singing, which was something else. And lucky for all of you, I won't be doing that today. Sparing you that. I would like to thank the GSETA membership for selecting me for this award. It really is an honor. And as Virgen said, I'm one of the few people in this room probably that got to know Harry Wood. I did a radio interview, 2 interviews with him when he ran for mayor of Newark. He 2 days before the election, he pulled out of announced he was pulling out of the race. And then after the election was over and the mayor was selected, Ken Gibson, who was elected mayor, chose Harry to be the first employment training director for the city of Newark. Harry was amazing. I mean, he had a bombastic voice, one of those people who definitely paid attention. He was big, and he commanded respect, and he absolutely fought for the programs and for what he believed in, and for funding, and for the people in the system. And he was a great, great individual, and I'm really proud to receive this award in his name. Also, thanking people, I'd like to thank my wife and daughter, who could not be here, but they've always been supportive of everything I've done. And some of you may remember the video that my daughter actually did. We showed it here a number of years ago. I had gone around the state of New Jersey videotaping one-stops, and my daughter did a great job of putting it together with the theme, the introductory theme to The Sopranos. It was quite something. It was so popular that we actually showed it a second time, I think at a second conference. And down the road, if anyone wants to see it again, we can do that also. So it was a great video. She did a great job on that, and I really appreciate that. I'd like to express my gratitude to my many co-workers over Virgin was very kind, and I've actually been in this business for 4 years. I know I don't look it, but it's actually 44 years. And I'd like to thank particularly my boss, who's sitting over here, Sam Paraki, the Workforce Development Board Director for Essex County, who I've known for probably about 2 decades, right? Probably saying about two decades. I'd like to also thank our Division Director of Employment Training, who I don't know if Julius is here, but I've known him since back there. Hey, Julius. I've known him since he was a teenager. So that's how long I've known Julius, when he helped out back in the day with our summer youth program. Again, particularly thanks to the workforce development staff, the word staff that I work with every day. Janine Schaefer, who probably has had to hear more about Canadian bands than she'd ever want to. Monzio Kiri, Al Bundy, Keisha Fleming. Thank you all so much for everything you do to make my job a pleasure coming in every day. Also a couple of other people that I'd like to thank, also with the division, April Caldwell and Rachel Ward, who've done a great job for many, many years. I want to say also how blessed I am to work at our One Stop in Essex County. We have an amazing, amazing situation where we have all of the partners working together. The BOA staff, the employment service, unemployment insurance, TBR, and welfare. And one of the things I think that's helped to make it successful and that we've worked well together is something that my boss had instituted about 10 years ago, monthly one-stop partner meetings where we meet every month, we get together, we talk about things. We have had a meeting every single month for the last 10 years without fail. So it's really, I think, incredible for the partners that have been really a part of all this. And yes, I was there at the beginning, in the Stone Age, when they chiseled out the Comprehensive Training Act, 1973 out of stone. And one of the things that, having been around in the beginning, you really appreciate what we have now. I think a lot of you don't, you just come into the system, get hired, you see, oh, this is the way it works. It didn't work like that. The GSETA program is the first time that the federal government gave money to localities to operate employment training programs. So it was really exciting to be there at the very beginning when they started this process where the local entities would make the decisions on what kind of programs to have, how they would deliver the services, etc. And again, it was great to be there at the beginning. It's interesting to see the succession programs that happened based upon that first program where it started that process. So then there obviously is, as Virgen mentioned, through JT, Job Training Partnership Act, Workforce Investment Act, and now WIO. I wanted to touch on a few memories I had opening years. Some funny, some of them funny, some you're not letting me deliver, but okay, we'll leave those out. Being there at the very first opening of our first, what we called Human Resource Center in East Orange in 1974, where we set up the first delivery system where customers could get in, come into the office and get services similar to what we provide today. Strong memories of our summer youth program. Many of you go back to the days when we served tens of thousands of kids in a summer youth program, which I think is one of the sad commentaries that we don't continue to have to this day. I think it was a very important program, gave kids a great opportunity, and thousands of kids an opportunity to learn about the world of work and put some money in their pockets. Some of them got educational experience, but as part of the program as well. It was a very valuable program and very fond memories of being there for that program. Another program that I think has really been outstanding and really something that is important that we have to this day, and that's the Learning Links, the computer-assisted instruction programs that have enabled so many people to learn at their own pace. You know, a lot of people that we put in education programs, they get frustrated, they couldn't keep up with the class, and the Learning Links have really been a great asset to enable people to really make progress at their own pace and to do well. And so many of the people that have been in our program have gone on to get their GED and high school equivalency diploma. So I think that's been, again, one of the programs that, thank goodness, has continued to this day and continues to get funding, and hopefully will someday maybe even get an increase in funding. Another fond memory is one of our youth symposium that we did about 4 years ago. Great program where we brought in youth, in-school youth from 7 different school districts. We coordinated with the school districts, brought them in. We had speakers talk about different occupations, give the kids exposure to what kinds of things are required in different lines of work. I was there for that full day. It was so interesting to see the kids engaged and really giving thought to their future. It was a very exciting program. Hopefully someday we can do it again. It was really tremendous. Some memories also that I wanted to mention. As Virgen said, I did serve on a National Performance Standards Work Group in Washington. One of the interesting things being on that work group was that I was the only person in the room that had actually met a client. Everyone else on that work group, none of the other people, they were statisticians, they were statistical people, not one of the other people actually had talked to clients and knew what their needs were. That was kind of interesting, sad, but interesting. One of the funny stories that some of you know that go back ways was a conference, a national conference I attended in New Orleans, and it was exciting to be there. The Vice President of the United States was speaking at the first evening's dinner, and unfortunately for me, my luggage was lost, and so I had to borrow the suit of one of the gentlemen that was one of the directors, and of course he was like 4 inches taller than me. And the Secret Service was really looking me up and down when I walked in with that suit and my sneakers on. So I was lucky that they still let me in for that speech. And then another fond memory is that one maybe wasn't so fond, but another memory that was fond was, I think, my first time going to Washington for a conference, and this is, I can tell you the exact date too. This was December 9th, 1974. And I had gone to dinner with our assistant director of our program and one of the assistant directors of one of the other programs in New Jersey. We went to dinner. After dinner, we decided to take a little walk, and we're walking by the White House, and there is a huge bus parked right across the street from the White House. That's kind of interesting, odd to see that. And while we're walking by, we see a figure come off the bus. It was Muhammad Ali. And it was pretty exciting to get to shake hands and talk to Muhammad Ali. And again, one of those things I can thanks to being in this business. That was an exciting thing. And then years later, speaking of heavyweight fighters, we had our office in East Orange, and one day I decided to go to our little coffee shop, which was in the building, and I go in the coffee shop, and who was sitting there but Joe Frazier? And so, what was Joe Frazier doing? His account apparently was located in our building, and he was very cordial, very nice, signed autographs and said hi to everybody. So just another one of those things that never would have happened not being in this field. So very lucky for working with the people I do and the experiences I've had, and I want to thank everyone for this honor. Thank you very much.
Aren't you heading north of the border tomorrow?
Yes, I am.
There you go.